Round 3 of the 2025 SuperEnduro Series went off in Romania this past weekend, and it was Husqvarna Factory Racing's Billy Bolt finishing with his second straight perfect night to take maximum points and extend his championship lead to what seems like an insurmountable 58 points over Triumph Factory Racing's Jonny Walker. Let's get into it. We saw another exciting Superpole competition in Romania as all eyes were, unsurprisingly, on Bolt. The Brit had set the fastest lap in time practice as the only rider to go under 30 seconds with his 29.572 effort. Once the dust had settled, it was Bolt who took the win as he bettered his time practice lap with a savage 29.270 effort that was 1.522 seconds faster than Walker's second place time and 1.651 seconds quicker than Mitch Brightmore in third. Bolt's lap had actually looked very ragged with a few obvious mistakes, but still, it was a devastating time. Dominic Olshovy and Ashton Brightmore rounded out the top 5, as Olshovy missed out on third place's single championship point by 0.4 of a second. Moto 1 started with Billy Bolt launching off the stars as he easily took the whole shot by over a bike length ahead of Eddie Carlson and, somewhat unexpectedly, Riehu Factory Racing's Toby Martin. From there, Bolt quickly left the rest of the field in tatters as he built an insurmountable lead on his way to the win. Behind Bolt, it was Stark Futures, Eddie Carlson, and X-Grip Racing's Mitch Brightmore forming the initial chase group before being joined by Walker. Walker had settled into P3 behind Carlson on lap 2, where he stayed until making the pass for second on lap 6. From that point, Carlson was under pressure from Brightmore, eventually giving up the position and dropping back to 5th on lap 10. Olshovy had an incident on lap 2 that appeared to result in bent handlebars. He was able to get moving again, but it dropped from 4th all the way down to 12th place. He grabbed a place back before another crash saw him down in an obvious pain. He did manage to restart, but was never able to get back higher than 11th. After the race, he went directly to a local hospital and was, unfortunately, done for the night with a large hematoma in his groin. Moto's 2 reverse gate start always makes for exciting racing, and round 3 was no exception to the rule. For the second week in a row, it was Sherco USA's Cooper Abbott who took the whole shot. Behind the American, it was a battle between Alfredo Gomez and Tim Apollo. Bolt had an atrocious start, coming out of the first corner in 11th place, just behind Walker in 10th. But Bolt really turned on the jets on lap 2, moving from 9th to 5th before getting himself up to P2 on lap 4. He was then able to make the pass for the lead and eventual win on lap 5, with Abbott riding a very strong race to stay in P2 all the way to the finish ahead of Walker, Gomez, and X-Grip Racing's Ashton Brightmore. This was a massive result for Abbott, and he showed his true speed and skill, as well as tremendous mental strength as he was still dealing with the death of his mother the previous week back in the United States. Moto 3 was probably the most exciting race of the year so far. Bolt took his second front row hole shot of the night ahead of Walker and Mitch Brightmore, and from there it was the 3 Brits battling for the race win. Bolt led for the first 5 laps, as Brightmore and Walker exchanged positions twice over those same laps. It all changed on lap 5 though, as Bolt went down and eventually gave up the lead to Brightmore. Brightmore, somewhat shockingly, was able to hold off Bolt until lap 9, but took advantage of another Bolt mistake to retake the lead just before the final lap. Despite the energy provided by the crowd, Brightmore gave up the lead for good in the rock garden as Bolt was able to leverage his strength and fitness to send it into the garden with a jump that pushed him past Brightmore. Walker came home in third, a few seconds back, with Ashton Brightmore and Gomez rounding out the top 5. Bolt won the round 3 overall classification with his second consecutive perfect night ahead of Walker and Mitch Brightmore. With the win, Bolt pushed his championship lead out to what seems like an insurmountable 58 points over Walker. Ashton Brightmore moves into third overall, 18 points behind Walker and 2 points ahead of his brother Mitch. Unfortunately for Olshovy, his 0 points on the night dropped him from second overall to 5th, 9 points ahead of Abbott and Gomez. For a third round in a row, we've seen Billy Bolt find ways to win. He's only lost 1 race out of 9 so far this season, including Superpoles. Despite that dominance, we still believe that we're seeing some chinks in his armor. Most notably, if riders can stay close to him through a race, we've seen Bolt make uncharacteristic mistakes in response to pressure. We saw that again here in round 3, especially in Motos 1 and 3. In Moto 1, Walker's average lap time over the 12-lap race was within just 0.5% of Bolt's average lap time. In Moto 3, we saw Mitch Brightmore, Walker, and Ash Brightmore within 0.8% of Bolt's average lap times. In Moto 3 especially, we saw Bolt make a series of mistakes resulting from the pressure being put on him. Bolt has also struggled to a degree with back row Moto 2 starts this season. Round 3 featured a technical entry to a 180-degree first corner. Bolt came off the line slowly and suffered for it as the carnage in the corner left him with a lot of work to do from 12th place. While it is likely that Bolt is exercising a high degree of caution in these chaotic back row starts, it still provides an opportunity for the likes of Walker and Shelby to take advantage and put pressure on the championship leader. In all cases, if Bolt is given an opportunity to establish an early lead, it's almost impossible to catch him. The strategy of hanging on his back wheel through the opening laps of a race seems to be the only one with a chance of working. Hopefully, we'll see lots more pressure applied to Bolt through the remaining rounds of the season and some more exciting racing like we saw this week in Romania. Thanks for tuning in.